Lucian, thanks so much for being here.
It is my pleasure.
Good. So tell me about Waiting for Godot. It looks like an endurance test.
Yes, it's an endurance test, a labor of love, a labor of devotion, an exercise in discipline.
Sure.
But also it is also just a play. And that's the thing that I have to remind myself constantly, that remember, it's just a play. So play. The rules might be a bit more strict.
Sure.
But it is still a play.
Yeah. Is it a bit of a bucket list play though for an actor? For some actors.
Well, for some actors. I think it depends on who you talk to.
Sure.
Because it's also one of those Marmite plays.
Yeah.
People either love it or hate it.
Uh-huh.
And I can completely see why. It is the most anti-theatrical thing you'll ever come across.
Yeah.
But then it is also ridiculous, dark, tender, poetic, funny. And yeah, a kind of every so often you get to do something that is hard but beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think this is the great thing with this play, that we're doing it on such a big stage, such a big, overtly, glittery, spangly West End production, but it's a hard play. This is not your 10 p.m. folks up on their feet, rah, 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 screaming,
It is not.
But we do have people up on their feet screaming, which is a great achievement in itself.
Yeah, I think so. It feels a bit like a role that's your Gogo, Estragon, to Ben Wishaw's Vladimir, Didi. It feels like, they both feel like roles that are kind of not. It's not all about acting, is it? It's also incredibly technical.
Yeah, it is, and I think that is where great productions, greater actors of more scope and ability have come unstuck, because in the end you have to serve what's on the page.
Right.
And what is on the page can feel very prescriptive. However, when you do what it says on the tin, actually, as with all the great works, you discover that there is wiggle room. You just have to trust the tracks that the author has laid for us. I think for me the sort of a great insight into what this play is and can be is, and I may get my dates wrong, I will be kicked and shunned by all the academics and the pedants out there. I apologize in advance.
Whoa.
It really landed as a play, I believe, at the end of the 60s or at the beginning of the 70s. I may be a decade out, but when it was done in San Quentin.
Okay.
And the prisoners watching it went, "That's our life.
Oh wow.
We get this. That's what it's like for us." And that was the moment when everybody just went, "Oh, I see." And so sometimes it's the weird thing with theatre, is that sometimes it works so well that people really don't get it. So I've had friends who've watched it and gone, the second act, I really didn't enjoy it. I started to get irritated. And you kind of go, well, good, you're supposed to be, because you're supposed to feel their irritation, Yeah. I wanted it to be funnier. Well, it is kind of funny.
It is very funny.
It's the sort of funny that is very true. You can't force it. And that's, I guess, coming back to that point about where more skilled, brilliant actors have come unstuck, is that you've got to play the note that's there.
Yeah.
If you start to try and invent or overlay, it will be a dud.
Yeah.
It'll be a dud. So yeah, it's sometimes the greatest gift is people not liking it.
Yeah, it's that thing, isn't it? It's like it just it alters your equilibrium, which is what it's meant to do.
Exactly.
Do you is like a good word for this play? Because I am really glad I saw it. I cannot say I like it.
That's a fair question. I love it. I love it because it is indelible to my soul now. I loved it from the first time I read it when I was a student. And for no other reason other than I went, oh, you can do this on the page? You can write like this? Wow, this is brilliant, bonkers, fantastic. But I think it is fair to say that I still go into it, even now, mid-run. We're getting towards the middle of the run. There's still a mild bit of terror.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because it means you have to be in the moment. You cannot phone it in. It won't work. And I think all of us as a team cling to each other like that, going, well, it's a wild ride, this.
We did it again.
We did it again. And, I think that the extremes, because there are some nights when it's just laugh after laugh after laugh, and then there are other nights where it's just tumbleweed. And you're like, okay, right, well, you've got to serve the story.
Yeah.
You've got to keep doing it. You just have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And take the poem of the day, of the night, as it is.
Yeah.
And we've had people walk out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, But people walk out of plays all the time.
Yeah, that's
for all sorts of reasons. I think this one, I even after all these years, dare I say, even after all these successes, I still take it personally when people walk out.
Yeah.
I still feel as if, what have I done wrong?
Yeah.
What did we do wrong that we didn't capture their imagination, that they, but it was about us.
Yeah.
And you've got, again, to play the tune as it is. Because it also, in the tumbleweed and in the laughter, in those spaces in between, you discover new things about the play.
Yeah.
You hear different things. People react to different things. It's really, it's quite a ride.
Yeah. You can kind of imagine if you've just gone to a play because it's got two guys on it that you've seen and loved on the telly, and it turns out to be Waiting for Godot, and you didn't know what you were going to expect. You didn't know what to expect, then you would be, you might struggle.
There was some friends who came to see it last week were telling me about in the interval. It was like there was a great buzz in the crowd, and there were these two young ladies in the ladies' room talking about it, and one says to the other, one of those guys really sounds like Paddington. Don't you think he sounds like Paddington? He sounds so much like Paddington, it's weird. Don't you think it sounds like Paddington? I love stuff like that. I love it. This is your great takeaway. That one of the actors sounds like Paddington. Brilliant. I love it.